Hello, and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 306. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Too Fresh Crash. Crash, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. You?
Tired, very tired. You know them ones.
You
right?
know what? This is a lucky week for you to be a little tired. You know why? We got our third man back.
And the return of the one and only Matt P. Video. Matt, how are you?
I'm very, very well indeed. I'm happy to be back. Sorry I missed so many episodes. But as a little welcome back treat to myself, I went out and got myself an Xbox
How long have you been holding
donut,
that?
everybody.
How long have you been holding on to that? Because you messaged us in the group saying you were going to do this, but how long have you been holding that? Because that's not going to be good after 3 days.
I went out and got it this morning, but I am not convinced that this was made fresh today. It doesn't
look it.
Feel
if
smell.
If I'm being honest with you, so for people who don't know, if you listen to the audio, Matt P has just bit into the Xbox donuts, the Xbox Krispy Kreme's UK promotion they're doing over here. I bought a box, and I bought a whole box, Crash. Hey, actually, Haley bought a whole box for this one fucking donut, yeah? So this is how it goes.
It's okay.
Do you want the story? Here we go. All right. So this is how bad it got. So Haley tells me, yo, come downstairs to get the shopping. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I get the shopping bag, then she hands me this box of donuts. And I'm like, oh, okay. In my mind thinking, don't squash the box. Yeah, don't squash the box. Whatever you do, don't squash the box. What do I do, Crash? I get home, I squash the box. The icing comes off on the box, yeah? Did you see what I tweeted, Krispy Kreme?
Yeah, it was your fault.
I put the blame on them. It was me.
I was going to say, I thought it got delivered that way or something happened. You were blaming them. It was
I was just trying to
fault.
finesse. I was just trying to finesse some free donuts. It didn't work, but
they sent you a message back. They were just like, enjoy it.
They're replying
idiot.
to everyone. They're replying to everyone. Let's be damn. Let's be totally honest. What did you think of the donut?
Meh. I'd rather an original glaze. Do you know what I mean? But it's a cute novelty. Whatever.
It's fine.
I'm starving as well. I haven't had breakfast, so.
Matt P just takes the rest of the podcast off to eat donuts. Okay, fair enough. If you don't
pulls out another box of donuts.
imagine. They're not cheap either. That's the thing.
No.
Like Krispy Kremes are not cheap.
No.
Like our box of 12 was like $13.99, I think. Which I know that doesn't sound like crazy amount, but that's a lot of money. Pound a donut.
How much come in a box? A dozen.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Well, he was like, "Oh, they've got 10 for a tenner," and I was like, "I don't want 10." They're like, "Why am I gonna buy 10? If there's an option for more?" Well, what am I fucking stupid out here?
It should have come with a month of Game Pass.
It did.
12. What?
It does.
What?
If you buy 12, it comes with a month of Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
That's an instant win.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Oh, that's super worth it, to be honest.
I mean, I threw the box away. I didn't even bother renting. I didn't even bother renting the competition, but
it's a competition.
So no, I think you instantly get a free month for buying the box, and then you get into a sweepstake. What's the word?
Sweepstake.
Sweepstake.
There we go.
To win that Xbox Series S. But
they can't even give away X's. They haven't got the stock.
That's probably true, to be honest. Yeah, I think with me, I was just like, oh, I'm not going to enter. That seems a bit scummy with me. Imagine if I won, like, taking that away from somebody after. Yeah, but nah, I'm not about that life. Anyway, this is My Xbox and Me, our weekly Xbox podcast, not Donut podcast, where we talk all things Xbox. Remember, you can get the show early over on patreon.com/mcfixer. And, Kresh, it did kind of work last week, if we're being honest, because we went up in subs by like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 roughly. So we will try once again. If you are listening to the podcast and you've never watched us on YouTube, that's okay. We don't care if you actually watch. We just want you to hit the subscribe button. Please. YouTube.com/myxboxandme.
And if you do watch, you get to watch me eating a donut. And
I mean, it's going to be a weekly ritual from now on. Matt's just gonna come in with a box of donut. You have to guess what type of donut he's eating next time.
Absolutely not. That's the worst podcast content you can ever make. Nope. But
It'd be great for the listeners.
yeah, oh, fantastic. Unless he gets an
invested.
ASMR mic and sits there and starts lip smacking, you do that, you're fired. I promise
Don't give him ideas.
Real fired, not fake fired, real fired.
I do keep muting myself. I'm trying to be good.
But yeah, please do go hit the subscribe button over there. It would mean an awful lot to us. Rate us on iTunes. I didn't check the ratings, Chris. Did you check by any chance?
I have not checked. Would you like me to check?
No. I'll go on the podcast app on iTunes and see if anybody has come. Did you hear last week's episode by any chance, Matt? Because I got absolutely destroyed. Did you hear that? Yeah. You've really got to not eat on the podcast, you know. I can't throw a question to you and you can't not be here for 3 weeks and then I throw to you and you're like, yes.
It was content for the podcast. Fix.
Oh yeah, so that
it's
was,
not that he was hungry. It was content for the podcast.
Do you know what?
You know, once you bite a donut, it starts to go bad right away. You got to eat it within the next minute or two.
Exactly.
That's just how I feel about all food. If I'm being totally honest with you, Chris, we've gone up a point. It was 4.7. Now it's 4.8, if I'm not mistaken. But I can't seem to click it to find the reviews. So, oh wait, here we go. 1 second, I found it. No, I haven't. I've just seen Little Smitty's. He's the only one I can see. Wait, when was last week's episode? Yeah, no, this is July. Nah, yeah, this has been a big flop, guys.
It could be somebody who reviewed it without a.
I mean, this is all July.
Somebody might have reviewed it without actually putting in like a comment with it. So they just gave us like whatever.
July 21st from Little Smitty. Great podcast. Love the 3-person perspective. Potato.
Legend.
I respect it. Let's get into topic of the show, but before we do that, shout out to our Patreon producers, Erin God, FNH Paul. Thank you so much, boys, for keeping the show on the road, keeping us going, keeping the lights on. It does help a great deal. Remember, you can become a Patreon supporter and a Patreon producer, patreon.com/mcfixer. Topic of the show this week, Gamescom is upon us, Crash and Matt. Are you excited? Are you actually excited for Gamescom or not? This whole year's been weird.
Yeah, I think after E3, I'm just not, until this COVID situation goes away, I'm not super hopeful for any sort of game show, because I think it's going to be really difficult for studios to be showing stuff, especially if they want to show stuff that's to be expected within a reasonable time frame as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Xbox are heading to Gamescom with a new live stream on August 24th. Microsoft is heading virtually to this year's Gamescom, the annual video game expo held in Germany every summer. In the form of a live stream, it will take place the 24th of August. That's one day before Gamescom officially happens on August 25th. This year's expo will entirely be digital, just like last year. You can watch it on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Gaming, and Twitter if you like. It's happening at 1 p.m. EDT, 10 a.m. PDT, 7 p.m. Central, and God knows what time that is in GMT/BST. So I apologize for that. Xbox have promised, quote, an in-depth update from some of our previously announced Xbox games, studio titles, alongside some of our third-party partners during this Gamescom stream, blah, 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 blah. Aaron Greenberg, the man, the myth, the legend, Xbox Games Marketing, has said this on Twitter to keep people's expectations in check, which is, quote, focus on game updates coming this year. You shouldn't expect new reveals or major surprises, but a fun stream. It's going to be hosted by also Paris Lily and I forgot her name. What's her name? She hosted the other what's the other show they do, Crash? Xbox On? No, not Xbox On. What's it called?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
What's the live streams they were doing like monthly?
Inside Xbox.
Inside Xbox. She hosts a few of those. I can't remember her name now, though. I apologize for that. But shout out to Paris, obviously, for hosting. I'll be honest. Since E3 was fun. We all agree, E3 was fun, but it just didn't have that the way I wanted it to, you know? It didn't have that right hook. It didn't have that killer punch. And now Gamescom's here, and I'm just a bit like, no new game announcements. I understand why, Chris. You're 100% right. Why risk it? Why risk it? Why announce something new and then it gets delayed 3 years? We're seeing it with films at the moment get delayed. We're seeing it with games dropping like flies out here, which we'll talk about later on in the show. It just doesn't get me too excited. Let's start with third party. What do you expect to see from third party, Matt?
You put me on the spot, mate.
Okay,
I have no idea.
Battlefield, I would assume, because they've got the marketing for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I guess.
Well, where else are these third parties going to show games if it's not here that are coming out? You know, like
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Go on,
I feel like they could just drop something during a Gamescom time. I don't think they need to do something at Xbox. I'm not saying they won't. I'm just saying that they don't need to.
How's that beneficial for both parties, though? This is a place that they have eyeballs on a show. They are one of the very few games that are coming out and not being delayed so far as we know. Like, why would you not take this opportunity to go, okay, let's show more Battlefield? We've now seen a little bit of multiplayer. We've seen a lot of Portal. Now it's time to come back to more multiplayer, maybe the Storm mode that's not going to be there at launch, but whatever. Like, just a great time to promote Battlefield, right? Anything Xbox have third party that's coming out this year, marketing-wise, should be at this show. So, Battlefield, Madden was already be out by then, actually. Maybe they do another splice thing for Madden just because, but again, Germany's not the biggest market for that. I'm trying to think who else they've got stuff with.
There's also a possibility that like Battlefield doesn't show up at Gamescom. Like Battlefield's big enough to have its own sort of game plan that is devoid of Gamescom. I'm not saying that it won't be there. Because I do think it'll be there. I do think it'll be at the Xbox show. I do think we'll see it in some sort of capacity. But if a game were to not be there, I think Battlefield's definitely one of the ones that could sneak by and not be at Gamescom.
So what do you expect third party wise then?
I don't know. Have they said that there's guaranteed to be third party stuff?
That's what Aaron Greenberg just confirmed. I just read it to you. Jeez, you can tell you listen to me.
I was writing the time code.
You're such a douche.
I was writing the time code. I forgot to
said,
okay.
Updates on first party titles that have already been announced and third party. So then that leaves Scorn that we've heard nothing about.
Scorn. Stalker's technically a third
Stalkers
party.
2. Yeah. Technically.
Stalkers 2, I think. Scorn, I don't think we'll see.
Ain't that meant to be out this year?
I think we see Scorn.
I hope so. We haven't seen any gameplay, right?
I think we see Scorn. I think we've seen gameplay for Scorn. I think they showed gameplay a while ago.
Oh, in-engine stuff. They might have shown that. I might have missed it.
I think they showed gameplay with like no HUD and stuff like that. I could be mistaking it with the in-engine stuff, and you might be right about that. I do know it was whatever we saw was a while ago, so you might absolutely be correct about that. But like, I don't know. I don't know what they do with third parties. I don't know who'd be ready to show stuff as well. Battlefield. Now that I know third parties are definitely there.
Battlefield's definitely there. Bet. Oh my
Battlefield's a really good bet.
This
Look,
guy.
I forgot to do show notes last week, and I felt horrible afterwards.
I mean, you should feel terrible. You're a terrible human being.
So I wanted to make sure I was writing show notes. So while you were reading that, I was looking at the time. I was zoned off. I was hearing Matt eat his donut. I was just super, super invested.
I blame him. You know what? You're right. You're right. I'm trying to think what else. It's really hard to remember all these licensing deals and etc.
Yeah.
I think probably Far Cry as well, I guess, because Xbox have that. So I expect from the third party front, Far Cry 6. I expect Battlefield. I expect probably Scorn, if I'm being totally honest.
There could also be.
I was going to say, who has the licensing for marketing behind Dying Light?
We don't
know. I don't think anybody.
I don't think anybody has it. Yeah.
Well, Xbox showed the first reveal of it at E3. God knows how many years. 2018.
Yeah, I could see more of that coming out.
Yeah,
that comes out in December.
Yeah, so, that's definitely something we could see. We also have to remember that you don't also need marketing deals to show up at Xbox's show.
No, of course. No.
So,
I was thinking of Gotham Knights as well, potentially, but they got delayed that. I know, but they still might come out with something to be like, hey, we're still alive. Maybe.
I
feel like they hold it off till they're closer.
Yeah. I feel like that, even with what Aaron Greenberg's saying here, which is in terms of like things that you will see. I think maybe the gunk. Maybe you see
Yeah.
Cure of the Gunk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's those type of games. That's why I'm trying to get people's expectations in check. Where I feel like it's those type of level of games are what we're gonna see.
I think the biggest thing we might get here would be a Halo like release date announcement.
Sure.
I think.
Safe. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think maybe something from Age of Empires we might see here because that's meant to come out in October.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Do
you think maybe
we still haven't seen seen too much of the single player for that Remedy are working on, if I'm not mistaken, the single player for that. So
yeah, and that's a third party game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird time, especially again, like after E3, it's like you start to think of these studios, and then after you think, oh, here's a studio. It's like, how far out is their game, and are they going to show anything yet? Because like it seems like every studio is sort of like dialing it back, especially after Cyberpunk and COVID. Is like, we don't want to show anything until it's like ready. So it's like, who's gonna pop up now? Who's gonna be the one to take a plunge and show a game that's absolutely not ready and then get it delayed and have 1 million hit piece articles written about them?
I feel like the biggest thing we see here is something getting added to Game Pass that we're not expecting. Just because I feel like it's safe for them to say, oh, we're not going to have any new announcements in terms of like new games, but from a third party front, maybe something gets announced coming to Game Pass day one or something like that. That'd be pretty big.
I think the biggest announcement we're going to get is Halo Infinite open beta.
No, because they've already confirmed saying that they're doing the update, the preview updates.
They're saying they're doing more technical. Did you sign up for the technical test, Matt?
Yes, but I didn't get into the first one.
Yeah, the first one. They said they're doing multiple of those, though. 3 weeks off, you've become sluggish, mate. Let me tell you.
Matt just wants to be in. Matt's just like, I don't know why they're doing this to me. Just put me. I'm Matt P. Videos. Don't they know who I am?
Do you not know who I am on my Xbox and me, even though I've missed 3 weeks? 1 week not being my fault.
That's why you didn't get it. They watched the week that you were missing, Matt.
True. Let's get into Fix a Sack and answer some questions this week, lads. The first one comes in and says, Dr. Disrespect is starting a game studio to make content creator games. I don't know what that means. That's not a correct sentence, but sure. We all know that Kresh would make a Smite clone and Matt P would make a PlayStation game, but what would an MC Fixer game look like? Kresh and Matt can also tell us what their games would look like from Little Smitty. Little Smitty, thank you for the question. I've said it for a while. I've always wanted Xbox to have a version of Mario Party. So I know like everyone goes to like not Battle Royale, goes to like Smash Bros or like kart races or stuff like that. I would love like a Xbox have enough characters now. You make them all chibi looking and make their own version of Mario Party with a ball. Literally, I'm talking just rip Mario Party off. Like, I don't care. Like, literally, the whole concept is you have to go around the board to get a thing. Like is it Plumber Party that's on PC that never made it to console? So it's very similar to that in its own way. But with like mini Marcus Phoenix, a mini Dom, a mini there's enough characters now that Xbox own that they could do a kart racer, a All Stars, like those type of games. They could do it now, and I would just love a mini game version of Mario Party like that on Xbox. I think that would be dope. Like Crash Bash, but better. Remember Crash Bash?
Yeah. I love
Crash Bash. Was dope. I used to love that as a kid.
Crash Bash was phenomenal.
Yes.
But it wasn't as good as Mario Party.
No, absolutely not.
No,
okay, absolutely not. But my Nintendo used to keep getting sold and keep going missing. Thanks, Dad. So, we had to stick to Crash Bash. The PlayStation was there pretty steadily, I've got to say. The PS1 back in the day. What about you, Crash? What game would you actually make? I've not Smite.
I just want to say that I'm insulted by this, that you would say Smite when the correct answer is I'd make a Killer Instinct clone. Let's get it straight.
Why not just make Killer Instinct at that point?
That's a good idea. I don't know. Like, I think the big thing here is content creators and like just the type of person Dr. Disrespect is, that it would be competitive of some sort. I'd imagine it's either going to be a shooter or a BR, like one of the first things he decides to do.
We don't care about what he's doing. We want to know what you want to do. The question isn't what is he doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. There's like
Matt P?
I'm gonna be boring and say I would
PlayStation
do a
exclusive,
VR.
obviously. A
PlayStation
VR.
exclusive VR.
Yeah.
No, basically a Halo VR, but chuck everybody in it. Like get Gears characters in it as well, and like get skins going, and like make it more of a thing like that. I'd be down for that.
So Fortnite.
Yeah, but with
That's what you
like
want.
the Xbox Universe Fortnite. Yeah.
I just want to say the Xbox universe isn't Fortnite.
That's facts.
Well, yeah, that's the difficulty now is that everything's in Fortnite, and so what can you really do?
So what you wanted, it literally exists.
You literally
It
want
exists.
what exists. It's Fortnite.
No, all right, then take the
Stop.
building out of Fortnite. It's a Fortnite clone without the building.
Hey, we all want that. We all want the building
That's
out
a
of
really
Fortnite.
good idea.
Can you believe they still haven't taken the building out of Fortnite?
Yes.
No.
It's the point of the game.
No, but it's not, though.
Yeah, it is. The game,
But it is, though.
the game got
No, but-
popularized off of the building. Nothing else. Like, that is the most unique aspect, and the bigger and the more the skill became for building, the more popular the game got, until building was too much of a skill, and then it started to plummet.
Now have you seen the guns? Like I watched. Who did I watch yesterday? Not yesterday, the day before. I think I watched Tim the Tapman play the other day, and they've got like guns that like shoot through buildings. They've got like this weird ray gun that like shoots like a portal and it just wipes out entire buildings and stuff like that. They're doing everything in their power to like nerf good builders. It looks like from when I was just watching it, I was like, yeah, it's still not enough. Just take the building out and I'll be in. Or not even out. Just the minimum that we had, Crash.
That was
minimum
so
that we
good.
had, that's all I
that
want.
one day we played it was so
Bro.
good.
And then it
I would
was
have kept
just
playing that.
I would.
Yeah.
It's just-
Sorry, what was that? When they put a tighter thing on how many materials you could have?
Yeah.
Yeah, they put a
Really
3,
built
a 30. Yeah.
You could literally
only
only
build three
build like a
platforms.
2x2.
Yeah.
Like,
It was fantastic.
amazing. It was
So there was
amazing.
building where it was like, okay, you can build yourself cover or whatever you want to buy some
And
time.
a shoot at still, yeah. But
Yeah.
it just wasn't what you see now.
It wasn't you
where it's
building
like,
towers and seeing who could go to the top and then kill the other person. It wasn't all that.
Disgusts me. Did you have an answer, Crash, or not really?
Not really. Like I would just want something that's fun, to be honest. Like I'd be down for a fighter, I'd be down for a MOBA, I'd be down for a BR, I'd be down for the party game. Like there's nothing that I would think like I want this specific thing. I would just want whatever it to be good.
Is there
Boring
any
answer.
chance that the Dr. Disrespect game is any good?
I mean, he was.
He was a
Number
map
one,
designer.
Before we go any further, Dr. Disrespect not a great person from what we know of Dr. Disrespect, and we don't know all the information. So just want to put that out there, number one. I'm not saying that he is a bad person because I don't know the ins and outs of the situation. I know that he made a mistake by recording in a bathroom, which is not a good look, but everyone gets caught up in bad situations. We've all been there, just some of ours are not on camera. Let's be totally honest. But I don't know. He used to create Call of Duty maps. He used to work for Activision. It's not like he doesn't know anything about game design. And if he hires the right people, I don't see why it can't be good. I don't think it's going to be popular. Is the difference where there's a difference between he's big. Don't get me wrong. He's big and he has a big audience. I just don't know how long that lasts beyond even his friends that are content creators that are going to want to support him in a way of let's play it so we can see what it's like. How long does that last? And it's going to be a shooter, so you're competing against Fortnite, Halo, Call of Duty, Apex,
Battlefield.
Splitgate is now the new hotness at the moment. Battlefield, PUBG, and I know we laugh at PUBG us, but PUBG's still absolutely humongous. It's how good is your shooting, first of all? That's the number one thing, right?
Sure. But if Splitgate can do it, surely he can. Do you know what I mean?
But Splitgate's got something unique. That's why Splitgate's interesting.
It's got something unique, but I think you're also forgetting one thing in the equation, which is that
Money?
he wants to make it with content creators. Not even money. It's that he wants to make games that content creators want. And so the question isn't only does he know game design and does the people that he's working with know game design? It is what do the content creators want? And if you're going for the top 1% of content creators, they're going to make games that strictly appeal to them.
Yes.
And not to the masses. And you'd want these games.
No skill-based matchmaking. that won't exist in this. If that's truly what that's what content creators want. They want a place to create content. So, Yeah, I don't know. I'm not hopeful it's going to be great. It's probably not even going to come to Xbox if we're being totally honest. It'll be I imagine that's a PC exclusive game. So
Yes, I think so.
yes. Next question, Crash. How do you like Stranger Things skin? Which is your favorite? And if you don't care about Stranger Things, you're wrong. What is your favorite skin overall? Anubis 316.
The skins are bad.
Oh,
The only good skin is the Sylvanas skin. I like Stranger Things, but the skins are absolutely like atrocious.
are we talking about Smite here? Is that a
We're
Smite
talking
thing?
Talk about Smite. Talk about the
Fine,
Stranger Things skin in Smite.
Again, one second before you answer.
Yeah.
Anubis, I love you. I love you dearly.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah.
writing in. But if you're going to pose a question, there's other people on the podcast. Can you give us a bit of context here? Go on,
That's
Crash.
fair.
How's the skins?
The skins are bad. I don't really like any of those skins. My favorite skin is the Ice Cream Ymir skin because he's got a cookie at his waist, and it feels very troll when you kill people with him.
Oh, fair enough.
That's really all it is.
It's like another language.
Yeah, we ain't got a clue, Matt.
I can decipher for it. If we want to take the rest of the podcast for me to explain everything.
I'm good.
Okay.
We're good. Next question, gang. After your question last week podcast on the most underrated games with sequels, here are my answers. 1. Silent Hill. Most underrated horror franchise. Creepy environments, jump scares with wild horror concepts brings this series back, or at least do a remaster of some sort. 2. Splinter Cell. Most underrated third-person franchise. Stealth was the best in the video games for so long. Bring this series back. Question for the crew related to these two games. What is it going to take for Konami/Ubisoft to bring out a new game in the series? It seems like the video game community have been asking for a long time. # Potato Squad for life. Will Pow. Matt?
Well, Silent Hill is surely in trouble. Like somewhere, somehow, who knows at this point if that abandoned thing is really Silent Hill? I don't think it is, but I think Silent Hill is like stuck somewhere forever. I don't think we'll see it for like 10 years at this point. Splinter Cell, Ubisoft just likes watching you cry, and so you'll never see another Splinter Cell either. I wish it wasn't the case, but it is. Facts.
Yeah. Is Silent Hill like really... Would you consider Silent Hill underrated?
Yes.
Because I don't know if I would. People love Silent Hill.
No, I think I've never played it, but I think it's underrated.
I think
and that's why I think it's underrated, because I've not played it.
Got it.
I think it's a bit...
someone like of my ilk in terms of loving survival horror
and you
hasn't played it, that's got on me. And people, when you talk about Silent Hill, they have like Resident Evil, they have a rabid fan base, and yes. I think there's a reason why we've not seen it in a really long time, because just like Resident Evil, it had a lot of bad games as well. And I think that's the problem, what people forget. The difference is Resident Evil bad games sold tens of millions of copies. Silent Hills didn't.
Yeah.
So, I do think Silent Hill's underrated, definitely. I don't think Splinter Cell was underrated at all. Anybody who has played Splinter Cell knows that they are some of the best stealth games ever. I do not think that is underrated. I don't think it sold well, and I think some of the decisions they made with the franchise is what made it go down a rocky road.
I also think that Splinter Cell suffers from the fact that stealth games just have gone down in popularity over time, to the point that you don't really see a lot of studios making stealth games. Like, Ubisoft basically went to Assassin's Creed and was like, we're going to remove you as far as we can from stealth. Like, stealth will still be a part of you, but if you don't want to do stealth for anything in this game, you do not have to do stealth for anything. So I think that's kind of the struggle with Splinter Cell, but it's also how do you bring Splinter Cell into the modern era, especially with the way Ubisoft does it of, we want these open world games, we want you to be able to go do collectathons and all this other stuff. How do you fit that into Splinter Cell? And I think that's where the struggle comes for that game.
You've got the blueprint in Hitman. Like, they are different, but
doesn't work.
Why?
Doesn't work. Because they're not the same game. It's not even...
they're not the same game, but...
I think from a concept level, I think I agree with Matt in the sense that it's kind of what I want them to do with Assassin's Creed as well, is you create these big, like, sandbox areas for how you're supposed to kill somebody and sort of like go into that area and do it however you want. The problem is, how do you bring it into that world and make it effective? It's the same thing with Assassin's Creed. It works really well with Hitman because you can do anything in Hitman. Anything's a weapon in Hitman. You can't have that sort of same approach to Splinter Cell or even Assassin's Creed. To talk about that, is that there needs to be a bigger game plan into it. And so I do think that there is more of a nitty gritty aspect. They'd have to go into every detail. And I don't know if Splinter Cell would still be Splinter Cell if you start turning it into that, if that makes sense.
I haven't got exact numbers either, and we know Hitman 3 sold well. The quote is it's been 300 times better commercially than Hitman 2 did, right? But I still don't think that's enough for Ubisoft. I think that's what you're also forgetting when you say, oh, well, Hitman's the blueprint. It's like, yeah, but Hitman's a independent studio now that can cater to a small audience, and I know small is probably a little bit unfair, but it is still smaller than what Ubisoft games do. It's not Assassin's Creed. It's not it's not a Rabbids game. It's not, and I suppose there's the devil's advocate argument here, which is like, but they're making Riders Republic and they're making all these other very weird niche type games that we don't know how they're going to do. To me, Splinter Cell needs to just go back to what Splinter Cell was. Conviction is one of the best Splinter Cell games ever made, in my opinion. So that's where it needs to be. It needs to sit in that world. It doesn't need to, or it needs to do something completely different. It can't just be Hitman Splinter Cell. That makes no sense. Like, we have Hitman. Why would we need another thing of that just because of the character? And again, like Kresh was saying, it's like, when I play Splinter Cell, I know what I'm getting into. I'm night vision. I'm shooting things. That is what the game is. Hitman isn't that. Hitman is, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna kill someone with a bloody apple. I don't want to do that in Splinter Cell. You know?
Yeah, no, 100%. I guess what I meent is that, like, there's an audience there for that kind of game,
but
like
not
a stealth
enough.
game.
But it's Hitman.
I don't think there's enough.
If Splinter Cell were to come out and try and do the same thing as Hitman does, it'd have to do it as well and as fun as Hitman.
Better.
And you have to remember that.
Better.
Yeah, and Hitman is, from what I played of it, it's a great game. It's a fun game, but it's also a little bit janky, and that jankiness gives it a certain personality.
Agreed.
So if Splinter Cell comes out and it tries to be a super serious game and it's like all stealth, it would have to work really, really well, or else it would fall short on the fun factor compared to Hitman.
Splinter Cell to me needs to, if we're comparing it to other games, and I didn't play a lot of this game, but Splinter Cell to me then needs to turn into what Metal Gear ended up being.
Yes.
That's what Splinter Cell needs to be, in terms of like big open world with an actual decent story. I've not played throughout the entire story, so I don't know the full ins and outs of where Phantom Pain went, but that's what it needs to be, like big budget, big, like, but I don't think that's what you're going to get either. I just think it's too much of a small niche to. You're going to see Splinter Cell again. There's no way Ubisoft are dumb. They're not that dumb. We're going to see Beyond Good and Evil 2, like, at some point, and they haven't cancelled that. They should have cancelled it. We are. You can. We know. Well, you can. We are going to see it at some point. Is it going to be good? Who knows?
You want to know how we know that we will see Splinter Cell at someday? Skull and Bones isn't canceled. They're still making Skull and Bones. If they're making Skull and Bones, they will make anything.
I think it's a timing thing with UB, and UB are in a really strange spot right now where they've dabbled with mobile, they've dabbled in games of service, they're now talking about going free to play with a lot of their franchises. They really are trying to figure out what their I guess monetization system is, in terms of, are we still trying to sell people a £60, £70 game, or are we now going to, we've seen what Fortnite's done, we've seen what Call of Duty done with Warzone. We've seen what all these companies are doing, and they're making a shed ton of money. We don't have anything like that, and they still don't have anything like that. What's that new shooter they're bringing out? Defiant,
I think.
Defiant, yeah. It's like, that's not it. I generally don't think that's it. But they're still dabbling. I think it's a good thing. The longer Splinter Cell stays away, is probably better for right now, because it allows them to make all the mistakes they're making in terms of the games they're making to go, okay, that's not what people want. That's not what people want. And then we'll come back to what we actually want from Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I don't think we see Splinter Cell until they figure out what they're doing, for one, and then also they're busy with other Tom Clancy properties. They're making the Rainbow Six spinoff. They are making other stuff. So
Films?
probably it'll be like, see how some of this stuff performs, see how some of our free to play stuff goes. What do they like? What do they dislike? Until then, like, it's also hard because, like, what if they want to make a single player game and they've notoriously like gone back on making single player games that are small, and that's what Splinter Cell has always been. So no matter what, that game would need to go through a redesign unless they plan on doing that. And the way gamers are, they don't really want to pay $60 for a 10-hour experience.
They have to partner. I think to get the best Splinter Cell game that we could ever get in 2025, 4, whatever, they partner with Xbox on it. In terms of Xbox take the marketing and it goes in Game Pass, and Ubisoft make the game, and then they split the revenue after that. Like, and it's exclusive and it's on PC as well. But like, I feel like a lot of these companies now have to, if you want to see these type of franchises, you need to take the risk away from the company who owns the IP. Same thing with Konami. Like, you need to find a developer, and then you need to find a publisher that is going to pay for the entirety of. They can't be left out of pocket in any way, shape, or form to make these games happen. I think that's the only way this works. But yeah, that's me. Matt, what we spoke about this last week about underrated games. What game pops into mind for you that's an underrated game?
Yeah. So when you were talking about this last week, I was thinking about it, and Max Payne is my one. I think I love the Max Payne games, and even when they came back with 3, right, I thought they did a fantastic job of that. I don't think we'll see another Max Payne for a very long time, if ever. Yeah, I agree. But I would love to see another Max Payne film. And then, game, not film. Definitely not film. Definitely not film. And then the other one that came to mind when we were talking about Silent Hill is Alone in the Dark. I have really fond memories of Alone in the Dark, and I'm sure it would not hold up in any way, shape, or form. But the one that came out, the latest one that came out, I think 360, it must have been 360, had some cool ideas, but was trash basically. But the proper old school Alone in the Dark's great.
I have a question, Matt.
Go for it.
You do know that the question was what underrated games, not what bad games you like, right? You know, that's the question.
Wow.
I apologize. That was me.
Wow.
I apologize.
No, that's brilliant.
That was too mean. I apologize.
No, that was good.
Do you, wait. You think Max Payne is bad?
It's fine.
Do you think it's good?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That tells me a lot about you.
Come on.
I'm not surprised. Let's jump into what's been in our box. Crash, we will start with you. What have you been playing, my friend?
I played a game that is on Game Pass now. Boyfriend Dungeon.
Ooh.
It's a dating sim dungeon crawler where you date your weapons. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I've heard amazing
I beat it.
Nice.
It's written really well. It's short. It's
it must
small.
be good. Yeah. It must be good.
It's 4 hours. I beat it because I beat it.
It must be good. It must be good.
I'm gonna tell you, I beat it in one day as well.
Damn.
Wow.
This could be game of the year, everyone. I want you all to know this could be game of the year.
I want you to know it will be on my list for sure. There's no doubt.
I rate it.
Partly because I beat it. Second of all, because I enjoyed it. I genuinely think it is it's a good game. It's a good experience. It's really short. I don't think the combat gets super complex and the dungeons get super complex. But the fact that I beat it in 4 hours means that you don't stay in it long enough for you to get bored of it. Because there's 5 different weapons, and the weapons have different attacks and combos and different updates, upgrades. You go on dates and then you upgrade the weapons. It's written well. It plays well. I do think it is worth the try. And it's 4 hours. It's an enjoyable 4 hours.
You said not complex. I'm in. Like, honestly, I do not have time for complex anymore.
It's not complex at all.
Perfect. I'm in.
That-
I'll try.
I will say there's a point in the skill tree. There's 6 levels, 6 skills you unlock. There's a point where you have to pick one or the other for the skills. And if you don't like what you pick, you can go to a gym and just change what you have. No cost. It doesn't put the burden on you or anything. It's like, do whatever you want. And that's generally the rule a lot with this game that I actually really enjoy, is the game never tries to bog you down with, this is what you want to do. What you want to do. We're going to make you go into this route, because even with like dating the weapons, you can go on all 6 of the dates with all of the weapons. And the game doesn't stop you, which I don't want to play through it like a million times. You know?
So definitely recommended, yeah?
Yes.
Cool. Matt, what have you been playing?
I haven't been playing a whole lot, to be honest with you. I've played some Back 4 Blood beta with yourself.
Yeah,
that was
all
good
of us
fun.
have played it.
Yeah, that was really good fun. I'm looking forward. Hopefully, I can put some time in this weekend as well, but I'm not entirely sure yet.
I'm playing today with
Shocker.
Morph. I'm playing
Is it
today
back
with
on
Morph
today
and Gibbs
for
and
everybody?
Ollie. Yeah.
It got back on yesterday.
And
Oh,
we're
okay.
doing the legendary, the hardest difficulty.
Nightmare.
So the nightmare. That's it. No,
Mate.
yeah, nightmare. Yeah, nightmare.
Yeah, because the
So-
jump from the lowest difficulty, which is Survivor, to Veteran, was like an insane jump. So I
It's
can't imagine
not.
what Nightmare's going to be.
I know you said it was. I generally
pretty
don't
big
think
jump.
it is.
It's a pretty big jump. I don't think it's like a crazy, like super difficult jump, but the easiest difficulty is
No, easy's not even fun.
it's super easy.
Yeah.
It's too easy. I think the middle difficulty is enough of a challenge. Not where it's like super challenging, as long as you know what you're doing.
feels like
Nightmare
normal.
difficulty. It is normal.
No,
Yeah,
I get no, but the
But
way
there's 3
people,
difficulties, no?
Okay, yes, there is. But what I'm trying to say is the way people are talking is like the normal, the quote unquote whatever normal is in this is like really hard, and I just don't get me wrong, it's challenging. But the way some people are going on, like, it depends with the crew you're playing with, honestly.
I think that's what it is. I don't think people are used to like, oh, you got to save your money for heals, and you have to be very conscious of what you're doing and what your teammates are doing.
It's communicate. I think
Yeah.
maybe you are right then. Because I suppose maybe that is a level of difficulty. I'm always playing, when I play that game, I'm always playing with people that I know and communicating.
Or
so it's
trying
like
to do good as well.
Ammo,
Yeah.
Yes, I am trying to get to the end. So yeah, maybe you guys are right.
That's kind of what I mean. Like the first difficulty setting feels like a story mode. Like you're going to be able to run through. You're not going to have to really think about what you're doing. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, you need to like actually figure this game out. It's not like you can just run through it on your own on normal mode. Like I don't think you're going to stand a chance, right? So, but yes, I've been very much enjoying that. And then,
Hey, hold it there. Wait. I want to talk more about 4 Blood. So
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. You hold. We'll get back. You just stay there. You stay there, pretty boy. You stay there. How many hours do you think I put in, Crash?
You put in 30 hours.
30 hours in 3 days.
Talk about it. Yeah. You're going to get another 30. You're going to be 60 hours into this game. By the time it comes out, it'll give you like a week, and then you're going to be like, I've hit over 100 hours in this game. Crazy.
No, I don't think I'll put another 30 in this weekend.
Are you going to be?
That's what you're saying now. I could guarantee you later you're going to be like, man, I just did another 12-hour stream. Back 4 Blood is so good. Haley's mad I might get to zone, but man, did I have fun.
Haley's left me. I'm a hobo now, but it's fine because I got Back 4 Blood.
I got a portable TV for my Back 4 Blood.
Yo. Go on, what was you going to say, Matt?
Are you not a little bit worried that you're going to be done with this game by the time it comes out?
Absolutely not.
It's just one act.
It's
it's
going
only
to
one act.
reset all of your.
Yeah, everything resets.
Fun.
This was not that much progression.
Okay.
I'm not.
If I put 60
I think
hours
you're
into a
forgetting.
beta,
Yeah, but you're
I'll be done.
forgetting. You're not a content creator in that way.
Fair.
So you know what I mean. So I'm working is the difference. Like I'm not putting 30 hours in offline where I'm not like I'm like literally I'm like again. We put our first video out on my main YouTube channel, and then we've got a second video which has got a bit of versus mode in there as well. And then the rest of it I've been and I think it's the luxury of I've met a couple of new people playing this game, so I'm playing with a bunch of streamers who I've not met before as well. So it's that luxury of like getting to know people while playing a game and getting to show like my fun side of me. It's just me cracking jokes for like most of the time. I haven't paid attention to one bit of the story yet. Like, I don't know what the story is. I don't know what's going on. Even the card system, I'm not really sitting there, like, really sorting out my builds and stuff like that. I'm just like, yeah, cool, let's just run in and do what we want to do. So, yeah, no, I don't think so. I feel like it's that type of game, though, where it's not overbearing is the nice thing about it. It's run around and shoot zombies. There's nothing more to it in regards to that. And that's what I love about it. And it's nice that I'm like, I've put enough hours in that I'm now sherpering people through. It's like, oh, this is how you do it, or I'm shutting up, like with Fran, when I played with Fran the other day, it's like, guys, figure this out. And then they're like, oh, just tell us. And I'm like, no, you can figure it out. Come on. I know you've got this, guys. I believe in you. So, yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to be bad, but I really like it. I really, 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 really like it. It's weird. I kind of wish there was a little bit more. One of the devs jumped into my stream the other day and was asking me for some feedback, which was nice. So yeah, I hope there's enough. The one thing that worries me, I hope there's enough acts. Like how many acts? How many
acts would be enough for you?
Oh, I would 5.
I'd assume that it'd be 4 to 5.
I'd like 5 because we've already played. I don't know what, even the one we've played at the moment, I don't understand it because I don't know if that is a whole act or if that's half of one act and half for another act. I'm very confused. It sort of jumps around in a weird way that I'm like, oh, is this one?
They might. I don't know if this is the case, but they might have some of the story bits cut out of the beta.
Possibly.
So there might be a little bit of dissonance to the story as for right now.
Yeah, I'm hoping for 5. Would be nice. Okay. I think I'll probably end up with 4 or 3, if I'm honest. So,
Matt? Have you played the multiplayer, the versus?
I haven't played versus. No.
I really didn't like the versus.
I'm unbeaten. That's why I like it.
Because you're unbeaten.
We played like 10 games.
Okay.
10-0. Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't a huge fan. I felt like
great.
The monsters felt like, I don't know if you'll agree with this, but the monsters felt super clunky. Like they didn't feel.
I've only played one monster, which is the big arm dude.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I tried several of them.
Do you know what a Kyle is?
A Kyle?
Yeah.
It's the guy version of a Karen, I'm guessing.
No.
No? Okay.
So yeah, I learned this while I was streaming with Meg. Shout out to Megs, and she was like, "Oh, we call that guy a Kyle," and I'm like, "Why?" It's like, "Oh, because we all know that one Kyle guy who stays indoors all the time and just jerks. So he's got one big arm." And I was just like, I didn't get that one, but sure, I'll go with it. Fine. I don't know why his name's
that's
Kyle.
Probably an inside joke. That seems like an inside joke.
But that's what I thought. And then she was like, "What? You don't know the meme?" And I was like, "No, I'm old. I don't know the meme."
I've never heard the.
Okay, it's not just me. That's all good. Matt.
That means I'm getting old.
Yes, you are. Definitely.
Oh no.
What else have you been playing?
The only other things I've been playing is all xCloud, Xbox Cloud Gaming, whatever they want to call it now. I've been playing Gears 5, jumping in and out. It's still not grabbing me. Like, I'm enjoying Gears for what Gears is.
Playing Gears 5 on xCloud. It's not good on xCloud.
It's great for me.
Oh,
Are you playing multiplayer?
No.
So, okay, the single player. You're playing the single player on xCloud on your mobile?
No.
On my desktop.
Okay.
It's great. And like, I'm trying to push it a little bit, like play games that I would have thought would have been terrible. So I've been playing Celeste as well, which I've never played before, which is phenomenal, which is like a fantastic game and like a precise platformer. And I'm having a great time with it.
I just want to point out that Gears of War is a very beautiful game, and you do that game a disservice playing it on xCloud.
Facts.
Probably.
Yeah.
No. You're not going to be on this podcast saying probably. You're 100% wrong.
No, I understand.
You said you weren't feeling Gears of War?
Yeah.
Huh. Why?
Interesting.
I just don't care what is happening to any of these
people. Have you played past the Gears of War games?
Yeah.
Have you played Gears 4?
I haven't played Judgment.
No, Judgment.
Nobody cares about Judgment.
Okay,
wait, so you played 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah.
And you don't care what's happening in 5?
No.
That is so interesting. Did you play 1, 2, 3, and 4 with friends?
Yes.
And you're playing
this one solo?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So
you take these as a co-op game.
I could easily play this game single player.
Yeah, but he doesn't care about the story. For him, Gears of War was the co-op experience.
I I'm not allowed to anymore, apparently.
We can't have you having any opinions on this game, so we need you not to play it, so it doesn't take our the overall podcast opinion down.
Like, look, I've never been really into the Gears of War story.
Yeah.
Similarly, I've never been really into the Halo story.
Shocker, you like PlayStation, we get it.
I am really into the Forza Horizon 4 story, okay?
The lore of Forza is crazy, man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, like I've never really been super into it, but I've followed it and I've played them all, like I say, and I find myself dipping out, and part of the reason I find myself dipping out a lot, I think, is because there's no barrier to entry now. It's not taking up room on my S, so I need to play through it and get it off. It's not do you know what I mean? Like I can just dip into it and dip out of it. I'm dipping out a lot.
It's the one thing I dislike about Game Pass. It's something that since Game Pass has been announced, and there's a number of other things to add to this, to this caveat, but I play less games now than I ever have in my entire life. But yet I have more access to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you.
There's that level of I literally log onto my Xbox now and I look at it and just go, overwhelmed. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm out. I just don't play anything.
I've also played a game and been like, oh, this is a cool game. And had I bought the game, I would have put a lot more time into it.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was just on Game Pass is this is cool enough for me to play and stop. It happened with Chris Tales, where I haven't touched it since the last time I talked about it. Had I bought that game, I can guarantee you I would have put a lot more time into that game. But the fact that it was just on Game Pass and I just downloaded it, I'm like, it'll be there when I want to play it next time. There's no problem with it. It's kind of like the xCloud thing as well, right?
Yeah, see, I thought xCloud was going to change my life. And it hasn't. Not in a bad way, and maybe it's because of my liver arrangements and stuff like that. It hasn't forced me to use it the way I thought it was going to. But I thought I was just going to be rolling up to places and just with a control. I thought I was going to be that nerdy dude, everyone's just looking at you why on earth did you bring an Xbox controller? And then I'm the cool kid once I flip the phone out, and I'm like, yeah, this is why. But I just don't use it. I never use it.
You know what's going to happen, Fix? One time you're going to take the Xbox with you. You're going to have the controller. You're going to be like, oh, man, I'm so cool. You're going to pull it out. You're going to put your phone on. Everybody's going to be staring at you. And you're going to be like, they think I'm so cool. And then they all pull out their Switch and start ignoring you.
The Steam Decks.
Their Steam Decks.
So yeah, go on.
So go on. I was going to say, we haven't been out and about. Have you had much opportunity to go places and do that? Probably not, right? And so
I just don't like going out. Just period.
Well, that's a different thing again, isn't it? But there we go. Yeah. So it's one of those things. I think I find myself using it quite a bit. And look, my Xbox is right here. It's plugged in to the same setup as my PC is, and I'm streaming to the PC.
Makes me feel sick.
And a lot of that is a storage issue, but also it's I don't know if I'm gonna want to keep playing Gears. But I go onto the xCloud and it's there, and I'm like, I'll jump back in for another 15 minutes.
That's because you're playing in 15 minutes increments. You can't play Gears in 15-minute increments.
Play the games you want to play the way you want to play them, guys.
Fresh, back me up.
And Matt P shouldn't play Gears of War. Matt P should not play Gears of War.
You can't play Gears. I'm not really attached to this story. It's because you're not even stopping at checkpoints. You're just stopping. Literally, you're on a skiv for 10 minutes. You're like, nope, I'm done.
I ain't even got the skiv.
Have you gotten past? So you haven't beat the first act?
You haven't even started.
Oh my god! I was gonna say, to be fair, the skiff bit is there's a lot of downtime. Yeah.
Did you guys see in the Discord? Little Smitty put, guys, oh my god, why did nobody tell me that GTA gets good when you get to Trevor? I was like, wait a minute, you've been thinking this game is bad, and you didn't even unlock Trevor as a character. Wild.
Is that comparable to me and the skiv?
No, not cool. I think it's GTA 5 is in my top 5 games of all time. So, sure. But for me, I find it so crazy that somebody would play just the opening, let's say, and just go, "No, this game's bad."
How long does it take you to unlock him?
It takes a little. No. I'm not gonna act like it doesn't take a little while, but that's kind of the beauty of that game. It's. Probably 3 hours.
That's not bad.
3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, I'd say.
GTA is one of those games, it depends how much you're
how much you're doing side
Do you know what
stuff,
I mean? Like,
right?
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just like, bro, you thought the game was bad and you hadn't even got to Trevor yet. Like, you haven't even got to like the cool moments of that game of switching characters and everything. Like, crazy. Crazy. Should we get into the news before we've already gone really long? So let's get into the news real quick and we'll run through it. This is this week's dashboard. Remember, we do news, apparently. First story, Xbox everywhere? Question mark. Phil Spencer wants the Xbox app on as many devices as possible. Kind of already said this before, if we're being totally honest, when it comes to Phil Spencer. But he was doing an interview and he had this to say. It was literally. Sorry, I don't know. So let me get the Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, is acutely aware of the changes happening in the industry, both in terms of technology and culture. Games aren't what they used to be, and in some ways, that has been accelerated by COVID-19. Quote: "One of the things I looked at early on in the pandemic was how many new connections got made on Xbox Live." He said it was literally tens of millions in the first month, and it continued to grow. Quote, some of that was just the network activity increasing as people played more games. But as an industry, we also saw things like Among Us, which has been out for a couple of years, gain a lot of popularity. And I think it was a reflection of the social capability that gaming has. Partly this is about generational change, but also I think through the pandemic, games are becoming a place for public dialogue, community, and discussion. That raises the responsibility for us as an industry for what it should stand for. Moving on, he then talks about sort of Game Pass and like the barriers of gaming, and he says, quote, "I don't mean this in a negative way," he says, "but video games started as an enthusiastic, almost hobbyish driven industry, and gamer was a label that we wore now." But do you know what? I'm not even going to do this. Just get me to the Game Pass part, because otherwise I'm just going to read this whole article, and it's a long ass article.
It's a long one.
Yeah, I don't want to go through it all because
towards the end. I have it. You want me to read it real quick?
Yeah, read it. This is written by Games Radar's Kevin Stewart. Go read the whole article if you want it.
Phil Spencer says, "We have no plans to bring it on any kind of closed platform right now, mainly because their closed platforms don't want something like Game Pass. There's a ton of open platforms out there for us to grow in, the web, PC, and mobile. So all of our focus, frankly, is on those platforms." Before this, he talks about how I think that he was asked if Game Pass would be coming to Nintendo or games coming to Nintendo, and he basically responded with this.
I'm so bored of this conversation. Generally,
I feel like
I mean that from the bottom of my heart. He sounds bored, and I'm bored of it. I'm bored of hearing, "Is Game Pass coming to Switch? Is Game Pass coming to PlayStation?" Like, no.
Yeah, and we have the same conversation around every time. Is like, Microsoft probably wants it with their certain conditions, and then every other platform doesn't want it. If you're Nintendo or Sony, it doesn't make sense for you to get Game Pass on your platform.
The next thing is going to be, is the Steam Deck getting Game Pass?
Well, the Steam
Deck. The answer is yes.
Yeah, because you can play it through browser theoretically on Steam Deck.
Yeah, just.
With Game Pass, xCloud, and Game Pass actually register the controller? Is my question. The answer is probably yes. I'm sure that Xbox will end up putting out an update or whatever to make it work. Unless Steam's like, yeah, we're gonna put out a patch, which I don't know how it'll work, and I don't know if they can do stuff like that.
I don't think they will. I think they're quite open about the Steam Deck being quite an open platform, and so I think they'll probably allow it. I would have thought.
Just so bored of that conversation. I generally just
you
don't
seemed
care.
bored. I'm gonna be honest.
No, but I do like. I'm not gonna lie. Like we've had questions come in as well about certain things, and I'm just not answering them anymore because it's literally us repeating ourselves time after time after. Yes, we would love it on Switch. Yes, it's just the same conversation. It's boring. Like leave Phil alone. It's boring.
Ask some interesting questions. Yeah.
Like,
ask him where Killer Instinct is. Next time, if any of you guys interview Phil Spencer, ask him where Killer Instinct is.
Whoever's interviewing Phil Spencer, like if you are someone that is interviewing Phil Spencer, this should not be your go-to question anymore.
I do know that recently there was an update for xCloud where it's available on more platforms, if I'm not mistaken.
Such as what?
I think you can play the games on the app now, or that's coming relatively soon. So through the Xbox app.
Oh, okay.
On PC. So I do think that this was like a planned interview to be talking about xCloud and Game Pass and all that stuff.
Boring. Don't take planned interviews. Don't care about the clicks. No, they're doing their. In the end of the day, journalists are doing their job. But it's just for me. I'm like, man, ask about Japan. Ask about like other things in the Xbox world. Ask about the sales in Japan and how that's going to affect how they do games going forward, or like ask about acquisitions. Ask about other things that are actually like, even if you don't get an answer, but it's just like we already know it's not coming to these platforms, you know.
But that's the problem. It would be I interviewed Phil Spencer and all of his answers are redacted. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that's what you get. So,
but at least you asked the question.
Well,
this is the problem with games journalism right now. It's so cookie cutter and boring.
But we were talking about it if that's what the article was.
Yeah. The only reason we're talking about this article is because there isn't much to talk about.
No news. Honestly, I'm looking down the news right now.
I can guarantee you we would not have talked about this. Even if I put it on this list, Fix would have seen it, and Fix would have been like,
off.
Yeah, I'm not. He wouldn't have even mentioned it, and even if it was on there, Fix would have just skipped it when we were doing the podcast.
I'm about to skip the next one, so yeah. Well, generally, I look at the news this week, right? Stalker 2 runs on Unreal 5.
Yeah.
Cool. So does that mean it's not coming out anytime soon? Because Unreal 5 isn't out yet, right? It's not officially out, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think
I don't really understand how it works. Yeah, I think developers are using it, but nothing's come out on it yet, right? Like there's no first game that's going to be on Unreal 5, as far as I'm aware.
I thought there was. I thought something got announced that was going to be the first game to come out on it.
Oh, you may well be right. I haven't been.
I can't remember where it was though.
Week, so
it's still meant to be coming out on Xbox. On PC in 2022. PC and Xbox Series S and X in 2022. But it's like, okay, so is the version we're getting running on Unreal 5, or
it could also Unreal 5 not being out could also mean that it's not out to the general public for use.
True.
And it's like only if you're like you're in the industry and Epic gives you access.
You have to license. You have to license it anyway, right?
Yeah, they get a portion of every sale that's every game that's sold, if I'm not mistaken, with Unreal Engine. That's how the licensing works.
Interesting. Next up, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice gets a free Xbox Series X upgrade. You can now play the game in a few different modes. You've got performance mode on Series X, which offers dynamic resolution to 1080p at 120 frames or hertz. It's full HD and 60 FPS on Series S. Resolution mode on Series X prioritizes dynamic resolution to 4K at 60 FPS. Series S gets a dynamic resolution that supports 144p at 30 FPS. Also, they've added some texture resolution bumps and a few things like that. So nice that there's an update out for it. I just wonder who cares. Is there like I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure I'm wrong. Matt, I love it when you laugh at me. I say things and you just burst out laughing. It cracks me up.
I like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy the bluntness. I care. I've never played Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. The next one's coming out. I'll get around to it at some point, I'm sure. Is it on xCloud? Maybe I should play it on there instead.
It is on xCloud.
I have a question for you.
That's my point.
Now.
That's literally my point. You're going to play it on xCloud. Yeah, go on, Crash. Sorry.
The upgrades don't matter when you play it on xCloud, but that's not my point. My question is, do you actually care about it, or is it like, oh, I haven't played that, let me play it now with the upgrade, and you're never going to get around to it, and this is just going to be your sort of internal excuse to play the game that you just never get around to it because it's still the same game that it was before that you did not play?
That's my thing. That's 50, literally 50. My thing.
50 got you.
I
do this all the time as well. Let me be honest.
I've not played it, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get to that before the second one comes out. That's my feeling. Yeah. This does nothing. When I say I'm partly joking when I'm just mucking around, and people are not understanding quite the jokes lately. Let me be totally honest. I'm joking. Obviously, this is a big deal. It's great that we're getting free upgrades to games that were already out and they look better and run better. This is all great things. I'm joking. I am joking when I'm just messing around trying to make Matt P laugh. If I'm being totally honest. But yeah, this just doesn't push me to want to play it more. I'll just play it when I play it, you know?
Yeah.
So do you think there's actually people out there that go, now that it has 120 FPS, I'll definitely play it?
I don't think it'll be for people. I don't think upgrades like this in general are for people who haven't played it yet. I think it's for people who have played it and like, oh, I've been feeling like going back into that game. And this is like, oh, it's updated, it's better frame rates, better visuals. It'll be a more enjoyable experience coming back into it. I can say personally, the only game that has interested me after I heard this and jumping into it was Titanfall 2. Other than Titanfall 2, I've never jumped into it. And Titanfall 2 was also partly because I just wanted to play it as well because it was on Game Pass.
Yeah, I think it helps, right? It helps just keep Senua's Sacrifice in the conversation.
It'll remind
the next game coming out, and so just
yeah,
keep the headlines coming.
It also reminds people, hey, this game exists if you want to play it.
Exactly.
Well. Yeah.
Fair enough. The Forza Horizon 5 full map has been revealed. It looks pretty big, Crash. Looks like a really big map. I cannot wait to drive down the seafront there. I'm looking at the map right now. And I already know this game's going to be beautiful. It's a humongous map. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Do we know if you can drive in the open world and co-op?
Yeah, I believe so. Last two you could.
Yeah.
I don't really play these games, Fix. You know I don't really play these games. I don't know what you could.
We played it together.
We did play it together.
You
that is
remember?
very
We
true.
did. We played it together.
Yeah, I do. I actually remember. Yes, we did.
I generally cannot wait for this game.
Yeah, me too.
More than most games, but only because now I've got a steering wheel, and not because I care about racing. It's just to go into the world and pretend to be a real drive, like just to drive around. Like, oh yeah, it's a red light. Let me stop here. Just take in the environment. Here we go again. Like that's literally how I want to play the game.
You're going to start up a Forza roleplay server.
Can you imagine? Beep, beep, you're speeding. Someone gets a cop car they've made. Dino, pulls them over. Be mad. Yeah, there's not much more to add here. You can obviously see the map on IGN. They've got it up currently. It looks really big. Again, if there's one game I'm not worried about this year, it's Forza Horizon 5. It's going to be great. I know for a fact it's going to be great. So. New game coming to Game Pass. We have Stardew Valley coming to Xbox Game Pass. Crash, we already own this game on multiple platforms.
We do.
Yeah, me too.
But Stardew Valley is a great game. And it's on Game Pass. If you haven't played it, I think there is a good reason for you to play it. All the hubbub about it, it's definitely worth playing. It's co-op, so if you and your significant other or your friend want to jump into it, you can play it. Fix, what's that face for?
I just seen the next story. That should have been our top story.
Really? You think that's a top story?
Clickbait is a go, boys.
That's a good idea. Fix, you get so many topic of the show.
Yo, should we just redo topic of the show right now?
Could do.
Just put in the title.
Welcome to Topic of the Show.
Deal. I'll do that. No problem. Make sure you get the time code. Sorry, carry on talking about Stardew. My bad.
Stardew's great. Everybody's played it. It's on Game Pass. Go play it. It's great.
My thing is like, who cares about Stardew? Hasn't played Stardew.
I think most people have, but I think Stardew is also one of the games where people buy it on multiple platforms.
I guess.
So I think for those people, having it on Game Pass, and I don't know if it's going to be on xCloud. That's actually probably a really good question for this game in particular.
That's a great xCloud game.
Because if this is on xCloud, I think that's huge for the game, or for people who do enjoy the game, rather.
Fair enough.
That would be good.
Next story. Rockstar remaking Grand Theft Auto games? Question mark? Reports Rockstar is remastering 3 Grand Theft Auto games for Xbox and other platforms. What you need to know about this one is Rockstar Games is reportedly remastering 3 Grand Theft Auto titles. These ports are being planned as a compilation that includes Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Some would say some of the best Grand Theft Auto games.
I think so.
Not me.
I don't think that's a controversial. I don't think that's a controversial opinion.
Best Grand Theft Auto is Grand Theft Auto 4.
Ugh.
Well, that is a controversial opinion.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Grand Theft Auto 4 is legitimately my favorite Grand Theft Auto. And I don't like that you made that face.
Only because you like, what's his name, phoning you up to go bowling. That's the only reason why.
No,
What's his
that's
name?
not why.
What's his name? I can't
Look,
remember.
Cousin.
I'll be
Let's go
100% honest. Why it's my favorite is because it is in GTA's version of New York City, and I feel like it is a accurate depiction of New York City.
Sure.
Crash, you buried the lead with these stories this week, my friend. I want you to know.
How did I bury the lead with these stories?
Because I forgot to sort through them. I know.
I was about to say
know.
it's not my fault because the way I do it every week is I put all the shows there, and then you get to go through and you're like, this is topic of the show, because I never put what's topic of the show. That is not me.
I've been off this week. I've got to be honest. It's been a bad week for me. I'm sorry, everyone listening. If you're still here, I'm sorry.
No lead.
I'm sorry. It's been a bad week. Next up, Life is Strange Remaster Collection delayed to 2022. True Colors also delayed, and the Switch version is also delayed. This got tweeted out, which says from the True Colors, from the Life is Strange Twitter account, Sam. Wait, what's the actual big thing? Let me read this. As we read them all. Hello, Life is Strange fans. We have some important updates for you on our up-and-coming release dates. After Life is Strange True Colors releases on September 10th, we're happy to announce that Life is Strange Wavelengths DLC starring Steph Grinrich will release on September 30th. We will be revealing at first look new trailer tomorrow, which should have already came out, or today, right? Maybe that's today. Today. I think it's today. However, due to the ongoing challenges of the worldwide pandemic, we want to alleviate any additional pressure on the Life is Strange team by giving them more time to release Life is Strange True Colors and Life is Strange Remastered Collection. For those reasons, we've made a difficult decision to delay the release of Life is Strange Remastered Collection for all platforms, PC, PlayStation, Xbox Stadia, and Switch until early 2022. We hope you understand. Thank you for your patience and overwhelming support. For more information, blah, 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 blah. This one makes me sad.
Another one bites the dust.
Do you think the fact that they said it's delayed until 2022 and they didn't give an exact date or anything, do you think that's a bad sign?
They said early.
That's not a date. That's absolutely nothing.
I think every game studio is very much maybe I'm wrong, but very much utilizing the pandemic. And by the way, I am someone that the pandemic didn't affect in any way, shape, or form. I work from home no matter what. So I don't understand the actual implications of other people going from a office environment to a work from home environment, because I've always worked from home, right? But again, this is just me spitballing. I could totally be wrong. I would love for anyone to email in. But I think a lot of companies are just using this extra time again to polish. A lot of these games are probably playable, workable, could easily be put out and by bad publishers would be forced out. But some of these companies have good publishers or self-publishing, and they're able to go, hey, we're not going to put out this edition where we can make it that little bit better, which may turn it from an 8 to a 9, or a 9 to a 10. I don't know what you guys think. What do you reckon?
I don't know if I necessarily agree. I think they are utilizing it to the fullest, but I don't know if I would say that it's sort of like just... I don't think you were implying this. You were implying that it was like an excuse for them to do this, right? Or is that what you were implying?
I'm not really implying it's an excuse. I think it's just that it's a happy coincidence. So I guess I agree with that. I think it's more a case of like, I mean, the game's ready. The game could come out.
Yeah.
But the fact that we have had to work from home has made it a lot harder for us to do certain things that we would probably be able to do better if we were all together. So in turn, the pandemic has impacted them. I still think right now there is probably a lot of games, I'm not talking about just Life is Strange, that, again, bad publishers would just put out. And they would go, oh, this is still a great game. It still works. Oh, yeah, there was a couple of technical issues here. There was a bug there. There was a bug here. Where I think a lot of companies are going, look, we don't have to do that right now because no one's going to get angry at us for delaying, and the publisher's not going to get angry at us for delaying because we're in a pandemic. So it's not like an excuse, or like, it's just more a case of,
got it.
If I'm a higher up at a company and I want the best thing for my game, I have to go and take it to the big boys and go, we got a delay, right? Right now is the perfect time to delay a game because of the pandemic. They have a reason. It's not so much an excuse, it's more just they have a reason.
Okay.
And if the game wasn't ready, they would have to try and explain that reason in a different way. But now they don't have to, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. I was a little confused about
I clarified. Yeah, there you
go. I will say I do hope that this becomes more of an industry norm even after COVID happens, that they're sort of like, okay, the best bet is to delay. And as unfortunate as Cyberpunk was with the state it came out in, I do think that there is good to come of that, and that is a big budget thing that a lot of studios can look at, and you can take that to the heads of EA, and you can look at the budget they had, look at the fan base they had, look at all the pre-orders they had, and that game absolutely got destroyed. But then again, the heads of them are gonna be like, yeah, but how many units did it sell? How well did it do? And they see that, and it's like, that game still sold amazingly well. But hopefully, after COVID's over, this does become somewhat of a norm, or even if it's not with the biggest studios, but hopefully some of those mid to smaller size studios do delays a bit more.
I think it absolutely has become the norm. And I think like this is just proof of it. Like if you look around and everybody's delaying their games, it does alleviate a bit of the pressure off you to say, well, we also need to delay our game. Like because of all that, like it adds a snowball effect, right? Like everybody feels more comfortable in doing it because everybody is doing it. And so, yeah, I think it will definitely become the norm. And I think what I would love to see become the norm is that games are just given longer to like just in general to get made, right? And then there don't need to be delays either. But
in terms of
much easier said than done.
More. Yeah, they cost a hell of a lot more by doing that.
Yeah, I think if head of studios are just so important in keeping the scope to an appropriate size for the amount of time you have, because it's always like, I just want to add more to it. I feel like that's what generally happens with games, to the point where you get a game that's supposed to have so much that it has a lot of stuff. It's just a lot of that stuff feels bare minimum and ends up feeling unpolished, unfortunately.
This game was meant to come out next month, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. So it has to be just a polish thing. It can't be that the game's I don't think it's the game is broken. I think it's that extra level of polish, and I think that extra level of polish in most games is the difference between it being a 7 to an 8 or an 8 to a 9 or a 9 to a 10. I generally do.
Yeah.
It is and Life is Strange is no different to any game. It's anything that takes me out of the moment. And I'm sure they're playing the build and they're going, oh, that took me out. Oh, that took me out. Oh, that took me out. If we could delay this just a little bit, we could probably get this perfect. And we really believe in this story. And then there's just someone that's gone, do you know what? We agree. Boom, let's do it. Like, perfect. So, yeah. Last story. Call of Duty Vanguard has leaked, seemingly, revealing several new details. This one was written by Liam Wiseman over at IGN. The news comes by the way of Charlie Intel, which says the leak seemingly confirming the reported title of Call of Duty Vanguard was discovered in the latest Season 5 update for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, including artwork, the game logo, and perhaps most interestingly for fans, mention of an open beta. Fans quickly discovered the leaked material through data mining the game's files for the latest update. This has been the longest we've not known what the next Call of Duty is. It's crazy. Warzone really did change the world.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Warzone.
No,
because there's been a lot of rumors. There's been a lot of rumors that this game is actually like it should be delayed, and the game they're having a lot of trouble developing the game, and it's in a really murky waters as of right now. And the Activision still plans on putting it out this year, even though it shouldn't come out this year.
Why they don't need it to come out this year? What, like they need to fix Warzone, but they don't need this game.
But I think the problem is, I think you're partly right with Warzone. It's that they release new seasons or like new years for Warzone and stuff like that with the games
go in and stuff like that.
Yeah. So this is where like they're like, this is big Warzone content. Even if we don't necessarily need this game, we need it to be out for Warzone.
So
I think becomes the problem with it.
We don't know any information about this, but do you expect a single player in this new COD or not? Again,
I would expect a single player. Yeah, I think single player, like it pulls in enough people for COD.
They didn't do one last year. It's my thing. That's what I'm saying. Black
Cold Cold War had a single player.
Cold War, a
You're
good
right,
single player.
Cold War did have a single
Yeah,
player. What am I
yeah.
thinking? I'm thinking of something.
I don't know. Battlefield.
Battlefield
No,
said
I
it's
know
not having a
Battlefield
single
doesn't have
player.
one. But yeah, no, I'm thinking of
Uh,
one of the CODs. But yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Cold War did have a good and it was a good single player. So
It was a good single player. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, guys, that is it. That's the end of our show. Let's plug and get ourselves out of here. Matt P, what have you got to plug this week, dude?
Nothing. I'm happy to be back. Go to the MC Fixer YouTube channel and watch some Back for Blood stuff because it's bloody great.
It's bloody great. Crash?
Go to the My Xbox and Me YouTube page. If you're still here and you haven't subscribed, we said it earlier, but you really should go hit the subscribe button. Because you stuck around this long, I'd say, like, hit the notification as well, It's the notification bell. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
It's right there. It's right next to it. It's
exactly.
not a whole lot of wrist movements. Not too much flick of the wrist needed, You don't need to crank 90s for it. Right, no. Fix?
I mean, I know how to, so I guess I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my big thing that I'll push this week, I guess, is my TikTok. I went semi-viral. Do we count? Does 100K count as viral?
100K
I don't
is
think
viral.
it counts.
100K is viral.
Nah, I don't think so.
For TikTok, I don't know.
I don't think 100K is viral.
Because viral would have to be like you have to be popping on the platform that where most people on the platform have seen you. Most people are interested in TikTok have seen you.
1 million is viral to me. I did very well. I did like 150. I'm at 156K. It's sitting at right now. I got a video up on there. Just passed up 1,000 followers. So yeah, I can go live on there now.
What were you at before this? The video.
Followers?
Yeah,
like 700.
So you got like 300 from it.
Yeah. I got like 2 Twitch followers as well. Sick. 150K views, 2 Twitch followers. There's go.
You know what you have to start doing, Fix? Every time you get like 5 or 10 subs, you gotta start rapping live on stream.
Never. That's not happening.
Never
gonna happen.
No.
Never gonna happen. Nope.
Got it.
But yeah, go follow me on TikTok at MCFixer. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/MCFixer. Hit the notification bell and all that jazz. And of course, my Xbox and Me YouTube channel. Go and show it some love. It deserves it. Until next time, sorry for my off week. I'm just a bit tired. I'll be honest. I'm a bit tired. Until next time, we'll love you, leave you. See you later. Goodbyes.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.